Good morning and warm welcome to you all. I am Vaibhav, your host for today. Our topic for today is Introduction to Six Sigma. It shall be taken by Dr. Richa Dayaramnani. She shall be covering Six Sigma tools and techniques, importance of Six Sigma tools and its advantage, followed by question and answer session. Our agenda for today is virtual inauguration by Dr. Sundar Kataria, invoking the blessing of deity, chanting of Gayatri Mantra, introduction of speaker, presentation by Dr. Richa Dayaramani, question and answer session, and last closing session. Hi, about Sadgun Sangh. Sadgun Sangh conceived and led by Dr. Sundar Kataria, driven with the mission to elevate the quality, safety, and environmental awareness levels of industry. Sadgun Sangh is a series of educative, informative events aiming to illuminate professionals on possible solutions to current issues of industry and economy. A brief introduction of Dr. Sundar Kataria, designation and organization, Chairman and Managing Director, International Certification Services Private Limited. His academic qualifications are Doctorate in Business Management, followed by Mechanical Engineer. His experience are Rajasthan Atomic Power Project, India's first nuclear power plant, RAPP, at Rawat Kota, built by Indian engineers, worked as nuclear scientist for 11 years and successfully completed and commissioned the plant. Engineers India Limited, first batch of engineers to develop Bombay High offshore oil and gas fields, mega offshore complex platform, trunk and submarine pipelines, underwater inspection, and indigenization oil and gas equipment, etc. Det Norsec Versatiles, world largest classification society, worked for 70 years at various capacity for the certification of fixed offshore installations, submarine pipelines, onshore projects, and personnel qualification, underwater inspection divers. ICS. He is founder of India's first certification conformance assessment body established in the year 1999, provider of total quality solution, certification of management system, ISO, inspection, testing, and training qualification of personnel. His achievements and awards: received Lifetime Achievement Award for the contribution for the corrosion technologies from NACE International by NIGIS under NACE USA, social worker, protection of life, asset, environmental and safety. So before we moving ahead, today we have Dr. Kataria sir with us. So I request Kataria sir to please say few words about today's session. So I request Kataria sir to please virtually inaugurate the session.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
Please join us for the recitation of the Gayatri Mantra.
भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्
Introduction of our today's keynote speaker. Designation and organization. Principal and Professor PQA. Her academic qualification. Post-graduation from MSU Baroda. Followed by doctorate in pharmacy from Ganpat University, Mehsana. MBA from IIM. Her area of specialization and experience. She has professionally served as a PG syllabus committee member, worked in development of pharmaceutical formulations and building analytical profile for them. She has organized several national and international seminars, conferences and workshops as chairperson, resource person, and invited expert speaker. She is associated with many healthcare startups, companies as a technical consultant and advisor. So please welcome Richa ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning to all. It gives me great pleasure to address all of you through this platform of ICS Asian, and I am thankful to Mr. Vaibhav and Dr. Kataria for giving me this opportunity to share an overview regarding the Six Sigma techniques. So allow me to share my screen now. कौन सा वाला चाहिए? Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you for confirming that. So today, in this 1 hour talk, we will get a brief overview regarding Six Sigma and what is the importance of Six Sigma in each and every industry, being it engineering or being it pharma or any other manufacturing unit. So how by employing or deploying Six Sigma tools and techniques, we can improve our quality, we can improve our processes, we can optimize our processes for the ultimate goal of consumer focus. That is our final consumer, the customer. We have to manufacture or we have to cater to the requirements of our customer and need to ensure that the customer is satisfied with the product. In this 1 hour talk, we will see what is Six Sigma, what is the importance of Six Sigma, what are the various tools and techniques that are used generally to deploy the Six Sigma in a process or across the organization. We will also see, we comprehensively review the DMAIC, which is a tool and a very widely used technique of Six Sigma. So we will focus on that. We will also see the currently prevailing the lean concepts and what is the difference between the lean concept and the Six Sigma. So when we have to combine lean concept with the Six Sigma, and we will see the advantages, and if time permits, I will share the case study also. Now, what is Six Sigma? So basically, as I told you, that each and every activity we are trying to ensure to deliver the product which fits into the requirements of the customer. Quality is a never ending process. Building quality is a never ending process, and just to have a measurable idea about the quality, the best quality is to satisfy the customer need and to give him extra, try to give him more than what is expected by the customer from the product. So ultimately, all the manufacturing process, they are designed, operated, and deployed to satisfy the requirements of the customer. We may manufacture tons of product, but if the customer is not happy and if there are no buyers, then the entire activity goes in vain. So that is why for the manufacturing organizations and the ownership team, it is important to focus on what customer wants. And in this entire process, when the organizations grow very big, then there are multiple layers of functions and multiple processes which are integrated and going hand in hand, एक साथ आपस में चल रहे हैं, और उन प्रोसेस में बहुत सारे people and machinery and technicalities involved हैं. So how to align the mindset, the activities of all these people of different cadre to continuously satisfy the requirement of the customer in the way of delivering the best quality product. Now we know that we also understand that there is a lot of competition in the market. So there is, if we are not able to deliver the best product in the minimum time or in the optimized time, and we are not in touch with the customer regularly, then there are many options are available for the customer. They might discontinue our product and they might switch to other company. So as an organization, it is my prime duty or prime approach to keep a good contact with the customer and to understand the requirement of the customer and not to compromise with the best quality approach. So these are the two prime importance of why this entire Six Sigma thing came up. Because we also understand that in the today area of information communication technology, the word of mouth spreads, the opinions can be influenced. So it is it becomes really imperative for all the organizations to remain in touch with the customer and to continuously update them regarding our efforts to deliver the best quality product to them. And in cost, when we are talking about the cost, when the organizations grow very big, of course the overall cost, the cost involved in that each and every process has to be reduced, has to be optimized. So quality is delivering the best quality product in the at the right time in an optimized cost. So so that there are maximum profit, and these profits will only be shared amongst the employees. So how this reduced cost, process cost can be done, and how the quality can be maintained to the best possible is by using the set of tools and techniques. So when we say that good quality, that means it is a defect free product. The product does not contain any defect. Okay. So, and how to judge whether there is some error in the process or not. So it is by the data driven process. So entire Six Sigma involves lot of statistics and lot of data. And this also helps the organization to take informed decisions. So generally we observe that decisions are taken by the gut feeling of the management or by the supervisor. But we have some examples that the decisions which are taken on the basis of gut feeling generally tend to be wrong. So that is why the entire data driven process will give us indications, and we will be able, means that the organizations or the top management or the supervisors will be able to take the decision which is informed, which is based on some data and statistics. So that is why we already understand that if we increase the quality, there is a huge opportunity to maximize the profit, because cost will be reduced when we are doing the same thing, repetitive thing, and we are optimizing our process. The cost should be low. So that is why there is a bulk manufacturing thing, like the way we say is the Reliance Fresh or big malls. So what they are doing, they are trying to minimize their cost by purchasing directly from the manufacturer. So this is one way of reducing the cost. So we understand that if we give the best quality product, then definitely it involves a good profit also, and margin is elevated. So as a statistical concept, sigma, what is sigma? We all know that sigma is the symbol, the Greek symbol, Latin symbol for standard variation. So standard deviation or standard variation. So it is a set of data and we calculate the standard deviation. That means error is the deviation. Quality, what we want is the 100% quality is the 100. Then what is expected and what is the error? So that will give us the standard deviation. So Six Sigma is like it is calculated, if I can say, when a process of so there are 10 million 10 lakh TV that I have manufactured. Now, out of, if I am 100% applying the Six Sigma approach, that means if I am getting out of 10 lakh pieces, only 3.4 television sets have some defect. That means I have achieved the Six Sigma level. So this is the calculation per product, and what is the defect or what is the market complaint or what is the ratio of the good product versus the defective product. Because when we manufacture the defective product, it is type of a loss, and the loss is not limited just to the product loss or the cost loss. It is also related to the goodwill loss, because that is the perception that the customer has. So one customer is receiving that bad product. So if there are 3.4 TV sets, then minimum there are 3 customer who will receive this bad TV set, the defected TV set, and maximum there are 4 customers that will receive this defected television set. So these TV sets, these 4 or 3 customer will be lost. They will be lost from our customer base. You know, they will talk bad about us, and they will say that this company is, I got this experience, and based on the customer experience, they will they will make their judgment, and not only their own judgment, but also they will influence the other customers based on their experience. So hence now more and more organizations are moving towards achieving the Six Sigma level. Although companies may start from a 3 Sigma, 4 Sigma, 5 Sigma approach also, but normally Six Sigma is a standard approach that is accepted by many organizations towards a zero defect process. Now when it is all about taking decisions, because we have to alter the process, we have to change the manpower, or we have to deploy some other additional corrections. So that is all the decisions that the top management make. Now what the top management make, so generally there is a PISDEX law, and what it states that most of what you know is wrong. So we believe that what we know is right, but actually, when we analyze the data and we prepare some reports, then we will come to know that most of what we know, we believe that we know is right, turns out to be completely wrong. So what we all know that there was a surge in births 9 months after the November. Now, this is one incident. So it's a means interesting incident. So that is why I included this in my slide. So we all know that it was reported in the newspaper Times article about the hospital, Mount Sinai Hospital, which was one of the best hospital in New York. And New York Times reported that there was a power failure on November in August, on August 8, 1966. On August 8, 1966, there was a power failure. Now, at that power failure, during that, after that incidence of November, there were a lot of childbirth took place. And 9 months after November 65, there is a power failure. And then on around August, there were a lot of births were seen. So they correlated it, and the newspaper reported then because these many births are taking because of that power cut. On August 8, there are a lot of births are taken place because of the power cut of November 1965. So this is the big news, right? I don't know what it indicates regarding to the social, social integrity, but what the data show. So when Mr. J. Richard Audrey, he took up, he was the director of the Carolina Population Center, and when such a report published in the newspaper, he took an assignment and he statistically analyzed the entire data from 27, the data of the birth from that took place from July 27 to August 14, okay, which covered the August 8 also. So now what was his finding was that the birth rate 9 months after the blackout was slightly below the 5-year average. So he calculated the last 5-year average of the births during this period, and surprisingly the conclusion was completely opposite. The conclusion was completely opposite, and it was that during this period of 1966, the birth rate was actually lower. But if people are just believing what was published in the New York Times, then they would it is very easy for people to believe that because of the power failure that happened in November 1965, the birth rate has increased in 1966. Okay, so this is one excellent example of a real-time, incident of making us believe that we should make our decisions and we should have a critical thinking process based on the data, and then only we should be able to make the decisions and opinions. So in organizations also, we feel that this is happening because of this, so cause and effect relationship. But if it is based on our gut feeling, then this is not a very good approach. So what the gut feeling has to be justified with the data. Okay, so Six Sigma importance. Again, if we see cost wise, let us consider an example of Amazon. So it is again an established study that was that took place in 2013, and where Amazon delivered 36.8 million orders on the Monday itself, on one Monday. Now, if we the cost of one error, if we take as $1.35, okay, then if see, this is a table. If we approach the 5 sigma, now this is a comparison between the 5 sigma approach and the 6 sigma approach. So if we take the 5 sigma approach and total number of orders is 36.8 million, if based on like the errors on the calculation of 5 sigma deviation, the number of errors become 8574. And if we consider the cost of error as $35, because there is a cost of redoing the thing, and that if it comes to be $35 per error, then the total cost of error would be like $3,104. That is quite a handsome amount for the company to think. Now, if we apply the Six Sigma approach, that means again more error-free process towards a better error-free process, then the errors based on our this calculation 99.9997% defect free. If we apply that approach, then the number of error will be reduced. These are the acceptable error limit as per Six Sigma. So it becomes only 125.12 errors are permissible according to Six Sigma deviation. And then if we consider the same error cost of $35, then the total error cost will only be $4,379.2. So imagine this big cost can be saved just by improving from a 5 Sigma approach to a 6 Sigma approach. So that can be the impact, the huge impact that organization can have after this. Now, common Six Sigma principles. Now, how to implement Six Sigma? So, for that, there has to be a good understanding of Six Sigma at all the levels of the organizational working, right from the worker to the labor to the supervisor to the manager to the higher general manager and top level. So generally Six Sigma is a top to bottom, because management has to when a company starts preparing for the Six Sigma approach, then it itself involves the cost. So it is like an investment. So you are investing for the next 10 years to reduce your cost. It is in that perspective. So management has to be committed to implement the Six Sigma approach down the line. So it is essentially a top to bottom approach. And now, what are the principles that are involved, the basic principles of concern when we are deploying the Six Sigma approach across the organization? So first is, of course, the customer focused improvement. So we are there because of the customer. Customer is the God for us. So we have to understand the customer requirement and continuous contact with the customer to understand their requirements. Needs a constant communication with the customer. So that is why now post-market surveillance concept is highly prevailing in each and every industry. Let it be a service industry, let it be a manufacturing industry. So now when we design our processes according to the needs of the requirements of the customer, we make the design of the product, we manufacture the product by using the processes, and we continuously improve the process. Each and now when we achieve that this product is one prototype, one batch is okay, and it is satisfactory to the customer, it is error free, and customer is satisfied with this, by applying the Six Sigma, then we focus on the process improvement. So process improvement itself is a huge task to deploy across the organization, because the entire process in itself can be viewed in a form of a unit operation. So now improve a process to reduce the variation, to remove the waste, to empower the employee to control and manage, because many times we have observed that decision making itself becomes so costly. Decision making is so poor and so much time consuming, so much unauthoritative, that itself delays the process and costs the company in terms of time and money. So why not we empower the employee themselves, those people who are manufacturing, those people who are involved in the manufacturing at the shop floor level, involved in the quality department at the shop floor level, involved in the purchase department, involved in the approval department. Why not empower them, empower the employee to take the certain decisions? And in this way, the process can be controlled with the continuous process improvement approach. So these are the principles that drive the entire Six Sigma methodology. Now, this is again a graph to understand what is the importance of Six Sigma. So, for example, this is the quality percentage. So 5% quality, 10%, 15%, up to 50%. And these are the sales. So sales are increasing. As quality is in building, the sales is increasing. And when we increase the, Six Sigma level, say at the Six Sigma 2 level, the sales is high, 50% sales is there. Sorry, 50% quality percentage means defect, 50% is good quality, 50% is bad quality. So this is the bar graph. And as we travel from 2 sigma approach to 3 sigma to 4 sigma to 5 sigma, 6 sigma. 6 sigma approach means what is the percentage defect is highly reduced. So the sales are increased. Okay. And the quality is inbuilt in the product itself and the process itself. And that is why the 6 sigma, the defects are only very, very less as we move from 2% to 6%, the chance of defect. So this is the importance of 6 sigma. However, it is highly difficult for the organization to implement real-time 6 sigma in any company, but many of the best companies of the world have used the 6 sigma tools and techniques successfully and have shown they have become the world leaders, like Motorola, and there are L&T, and there are so many companies. So when they have inculcated the culture of quality across the organization and built the quality into the product and the processes, then definitely we can see them emerge as the world leader in their domain. Now let us consider what are the various 6 sigma tools and techniques. So there are ample ample type of tools and techniques, and these are the few tools and techniques that are used when we talk about the 6 sigma. Now these tools may be different in the application. So if you are a product based industry, one or more combination can be applicable to you. If you are you have to more understand the cause and effect relationship, or you have to understand the how to eliminate the problem. So we can go for the fishbone diagram or regression analysis, that is a retrospective control, like that. And then there is a design model, design approach. Histogram and paretograms are the statistical charts that can be used to implement the 6 sigma. Value stream mapping, 5S system, 5Y system, project charter, Rasi matrix, these Pokayoke. So all these are the various type of tools and techniques. Individually or in combination, they can be used by the organization depending on the problem that the organization is facing. Okay. So it is not that when we talk about 6 sigma implementation, 100% we have to use all the tools and techniques that are available. It is not limited, but these are the basic techniques which more or less covers the 6 sigma approach. So it is a problem solving methodology that is known as the DMAT, which is the highly used by the organization, widely used. So what is DMAT? Problem solving methodology: define, measure, analyze, control, and improve. DMAIC. Okay, and this is the 6 sigma approach, and this the acronym is DMAIC. Now this is a problem solving methodology. I told you that we are now a company is running from last 30 years, but again they are experiencing some problem in the process. So how to solve that problem? So they have to define the problem. First of all, when they are taking up a project, this will become a project to solve this particular problem. It becomes a project for the company. And then they have to first of all define the project. They have to prepare a project charter, means the team and everything. Then what will be they have to assess what will be the impact of business when they are in the process of implementation these changes across the organization. Then also during this time they have to consider the voice of the customer. What is the change in the requirement of the customer? What is the value that the customer feedback is adding to the entire process, and all those things. Then they have in the define process they can prepare an affinity diagram, a Kano model, or a CTQ tree diagram. These are the various tools that are used to define the project or the problem that is required to be solved. Then measuring is very, very important. So whatever decision, when I'm saying about decision, so it may be my personal opinion which it is difficult for me to translate into a data. So at that time, to convince a team of employees, or to convince the people around me, or convince the superiors, it is important that I translate my feelings through the data. So how that means all the systems and processes that we are going to use should be measurable. That means they should be data driven. They should be numeric. Okay. So what is how to measure that? Process map, data collection, control charts, Pareto charts, prioritization matrix, measurement system analysis, process capabilities, and yield. So these are the various, tools and techniques that can be used by the organization to measure the defect and the measure the process outcome, the input and the output, and that will give us the some information. Now this information needs to be analyzed. So how to analyze this information? Like in a chart, if I write some numbers, so this is just the data, that is the measurement only I have done, but what is the meaning of that data needs to be analyzed. So for the analysis, there are the various tools that are available is multivariate analysis, cause and effect matrix, FMEA, hypothesis testing, ANOVA, noise variables. There is a noise and there is a signal in any process. Then the scatter plot diagram is available. Nowadays, a lot of advanced 3D diagrams and charts are also available. And then design of experiments also we can do to analyze the to support and analyze the data and to support our claim. Now, how to improve? Now, after analysis, the team will get an idea what needs to be improved, what needs to be corrected. Okay, where is the change that is required? So we need to improve. So how we can improve that is by brainstorming and creativity tools, because it needs people and it needs using some new things, new techniques. So it should be convincing and it should be acceptable by those who will be really using it 24/7 afterwards. So first is the change of attitude, that is very important by the people who are involved in the process. Through the again design of experiment is a technique which can be beautifully used to improve the process. And the design can be full factorial design, fractional factorial design, response surface, pilot trials, and implementation plans. So in this way, we can just not push our information or what we have decision, but continuous small incremental improvements every day will result into a big complete change afterwards. So control status. Now how to control? Suppose we have implemented a change, but after when the change across the organization takes place, it needs to be controlled and monitored. Control word always uses the term monitor. So monitor and control, that is statistical process control, standard operating procedures, data collection and sampling plans, control plans, measurement system analysis, project summary and lessons. So control is a type of rechecking the entire thing, whether the process has been implemented properly or not. So this is the entire DMAIC thing. And believe me, it takes years and years for organization. And on the slide, it looks so easy. But when the team starts working on it, and then it may take like a 1.5 to 2 years to deploy the entire technology and to deploy the processes across the organization. Now I want to ask everyone to put your answer. So what is the full form of DMAIC in the chat box, if you can mention? We'll take like 30 seconds, and if you can write the full form of DMAIC in the chat box, or anybody can say.
It is design, measure, analyze, improve, and control.
So it is not design, it is define. Okay, define. First D
Define,
stands for define. Yeah. Then measure. Define the problem. It is a problem solving technique. So we have to define the problem. The problem should be very clear. The start and the end has to be clear. Then the process can be improved. Okay. So first is to define what we want to do. So define, then measure, then analyze, then improve, and then to control, monitor and control. So very nice. Thank you for that correct answer. And we have got some couple of answers also. Yeah. Mr. Ajay Bhandari, Mr. Dilip Negi. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for answering. Now, how to define the project? We cannot take randomly any project. So we have to choose the project very carefully. So how to choose the project? Because there is a lot of data involved. So it cannot be an abstract project just on the feeling base or nothing which we are not able to quantify. So the goal of our project or the problem should be SMART. It should be SMART goal. So what is SMART? SMART, S stands for specific. So our goal is to be very specific and narrow so that effective planning and effective deployment can be made. So if we are clear about what we want, then only we can be specific. Okay, it should not be vague. It should be, in one sentence we will be able to write. Then measurable. So whatever the progress, whatever the data, the goal has to be measurable. I will give you one example that we have to increase, suppose there is a label issue, then we have to decrease the size of the label by 10%. So this is measurable, 10%. There is something, we have to change the label. This is a vague. It is not measurable. However, it is specific. Okay, we have the problem is identified that we have to change the labeling. But how much? Okay, we have to 100% change the labeling. Or what is specific? We have to reduce the size of the label, increase the size of the label. We have to change the color of the label from green to, I can give you one normal day example. I want to reduce my weight. Now this is a vague statement. This is, my goal is clear. I have clarity. It is specific that I want to reduce my weight. But if I say, then I have to say in the measurable terms that I want to reduce 5 kilo of weight. Now it becomes measurable. Now is it achievable? Achievable. I want to reduce 5 kg weight in 2 days. It is not achievable. Then I have to redefine my goal as I want to reduce 5 kilo weight in 30 days. Then it is achievable goal. Okay. Then it is relevant. Whether it is relevant, yes. If I am lean, I am only 45 kilo weight. Now it is not relevant for me to take up a goal which is I am already 45 underweight, and now again I want to reduce more 5 kg weight. This is not relevant. So the problem should exist. Okay, exist. So it should be relevant to our values and the long-term objectives. And it should be time-based. As I mentioned that I included 30 days or 5 days. So it is time-based. So that means now the complete set of requirements is there before me. And I am able to work on this problem in a specific and clear manner. There is a mental clarity that I get when I choose a SMART goal. So this is the importance, very, very important, when we take goals or when we choose the goals for us, it is highly important that our goals have to be SMART. Okay. Whether it is a short-term goal or a mid-term goal or a long-term goal. So time frame can be anything, but the nature of the goal has to be very specific, achievable, it should be relevant, and it should be measurable. Then only it will be easier for us to achieve the overall goal of customer satisfaction. Now, when we, let us see DMAC, let us see define and measure. So I already, told you that what are the, let us check the main activities. So when we start to define the problem, so we develop a clear mandate based on a real-time problem. The problem that is reported, that is present in the document, that is present in our quality, that is present in our customer complaint, like that. So it is a clear mandate that defines our problem. What are the main activities? May I ask everybody to mute your mic, please? So now main activities, identify the improvement. There has to be an opportunity for improvement. The 5% increase, 10%. So there has to be a scope of improvement. We have to develop a charter or team, because only a team is highly important. The nature of the team and the Cohesiveness of the team is highly important. Listen to the voice of the customer, define the critical customer requirements, and map the various processes. So these are the main activities that are involved when we define a problem. Then tools and techniques, the charter, the milestone plan, project plan, customer surveys, process maps, and affinity diagrams. All these are the tools and techniques which will help us to effectively define the problem. Okay, customer surveys are the very, very important input to define the problem. Now, measurement. How to measure? To understand the baseline, where we are and where we want to go, and what are the levels that we are going to transform, pass when we say move from A to B. So what are the main activities? Again, identify the measures, develop operational definitions, develop and implement measurement plan, collect other baseline information. So these are the main activities that are included when we talk about measurement plan. And what are the tools and techniques? The mapping process should be detailed, and the measurement plan, existing versus new data. So this all will summarize the define and measure aspect of the Six Sigma approach. Now next come is analyze and improve. So in analyze, what we are doing actually is to establishing the problem root cause. So now we have identified the problem. Now we have to think what is the root cause, because there has to be a cause. And when we deep dive into understanding the root cause and eliminating the root cause, and also anticipating the various factors that will be affected by this root cause. Okay, so identify the root cause, validate the root cause. Just one time identification does not solve. It has to be validated that yes, it has to be ensured that yes, this root cause is the same. What we have deduced is correct. Then determine the true sources of variation. What is the source of variation in the quality? What are the process controls and capabilities that are required? Then what are the analysis of the detailed process maps for improvement opportunities? Plot and analyze the data. Determine the amount of variation within the processes. Determine sigma score. Sigma score is the sigma standard deviation score. Now suppose our standard deviation score comes to be a 3.4. Then we have to first raise ourselves from 3.4 to 4 or 5, and then from 5 to 6, like that. And how to analyze? What are the various tools to analyze the root cause? Is statistical process, SPC जिसको बोलते हैं, statistical process control. The softwares are available. We have to just input the data and we will be getting the sigma. Process capability calculations, defects per million calculations, fishbone diagrams, analysis, cause and effect matrix, the 5i system, the Pareto analysis, the hotspot matrix, and the histogram. So these are the various tools, statistical support system that we can use to correctly analyze the problem. So correct analysis of problem is a key to achieve what is required. And then improve. How to improve? So to develop, select and implement the best solution available and viable, feasible. So suppose we can think about the best solutions, but what is feasible at our end has to be considered. So generate the solution ideas, evaluate and select solutions, develop process map for solution, initiate, measure and evaluate the pilot, communicate solutions to stakeholders and evaluate the plan, process mapping, brainstorming, chain letter, idea box, affinity diagrams. Idea box is like to invite the ideation from each and every level of, because the doers are normally the workers, and the workers have the real idea how the process can be improved. But many times we see that workers are not vocal, they are not able to express freely. So there is an idea box, and we have to appreciate the ideas and to appreciate the person's contribution. Affinity diagrams, force field analysis, solution screening, PDSA, pilot studies. So these are all the tools that are required for improvement of the process. And last comes is the control. when we have successfully implemented the process, then we have to monitor that the process is working as it is expected to work, and how to control the process all the time. So to ensure the solutions are embedded and the process has robust controls, that means automatic cutoff, shut off, some light indicator, some color indication is there to identify the defective part. So to verify the reduction in variation and sigma score, develop standard practices, monitor performance, integrate lessons learned, recommend future plans, identify next steps and remaining opportunities. So these are the various elements of control. And what are the tools? Control dashboard, procedures and standards, process control system, SPC, and ongoing training and education of the is continuously required to control the process. So if we can just plot a curve, then this is the standard curve. Defect rate, yes, the defect rate goes really low when with time. See, at the define, the defect rate was highly prevailing. When we are measuring and analyzing, then we identify the waste. This is the waste that needs to be eliminated. And then the defect rate goes low. Okay. And then when we are improving the process further, the defect rate is again lower, more lower. And the chronic waste is also removed. That is the process of improvement. And when we are controlling the chronic waste, the waste that is the process waste, the cost waste, that comes to a bare minimum low when during the controls. And we see that the defect rate has also minimized a great deal. So this is all about the Six Sigma. But the important question is, what is a good Six Sigma project? Can we apply the Six Sigma in everything? So there is this good, representation that I found on the internet, and we have to define the problem and ask a question whether this problem is easy to fix. Then the answer can be yes or no. If the answer is yes, then yes, definitely we can take it. If the answer is no, then is there any solution which is currently available? So if the answer is yes, then we can just use the solution and apply, and our problem will be corrected. And if still the solution is not available, that means we have to think and dive deeper to create a solution or to make something better. So if the solution is also not available, then we have to choose a Six Sigma project. Okay, suppose you have the manufacturing machine, the output of the machine is like 10,000 tablets, for example, 10,000 tablets. And now you're not able to satisfy the customer requirement, and you're all the time the running cost is there. So just you have to replace the machine with the bigger capacity. So that is a quick hit, and the solution is also available. So that cannot be a Six Sigma project. Six Sigma project is a bigger, enveloping term for the across organization. So this is all about the type of project that fits into the Six Sigma category. Now there is a lean concept that is prevailing in our era. Why? Because most with the industry 4.0, a lot of work is done by the cloud, and lot of technology is involved. And as we are getting a lot of harnessing the potential of the technology, the requirement of manpower is the mundane work or the regular work, it can be eliminated. The manpower requirement is eliminated, and lot of things can be done by just clicking the buttons on the computer. So that is the concept of integrating Lean Sigma into the Six Sigma, and then we get the Lean Six Sigma approach. So this is the currently prevailing concept, but there are basic differences. So lean is improve the business productivity by eliminating or reducing the waste, which is focused on workflow. An observation driven approach does not require statistical analysis. And Six Sigma, it requires a lot of statistics and data, and it focuses the problem. This focus on the workflow. And this is again, yes, but this is by eliminating or reducing waste, and this is by reducing the variations. That is why Sigma is like standard deviation or variation. And the optimum combination which is suitable for the company is the Lean Six Sigma approach. Now, what are the types of Lean Six Sigma? Can Lean Sigma be used by each and every company? No. So, the Lean Six Sigma project types can be a fast track project or a PDCA cycle project or a DAMADV design project. IT industry may a lot of design approaches there. So process design can be a Lean Sigma, and process redesigning. Now to stay relevant, because the speed of change is very fast, so that is why we have to constantly redesign ourselves, means our processes and our thought process. So infrastructure implementation, these are the various types of the projects that fit into the Lean Sigma project categories. So with this, I end my presentation, and I am open for a quick 5 minutes question session. Yes, if anybody wants to ask any question, otherwise we can wrap up. Yes, Mr. Webber, I can see that there are no questions coming up. So can we wrap up, because I have a meeting to attend?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for explaining topic in simplifying way and the presentation. I request all the delegates and participants, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask directly, or you can put your questions in the chat box. Chat box open is for another few minutes.
Otherwise, what you can do, Mr. Webber, is that you can collect the questions and you can post it on mail, and I will respond to them.
Okay, okay, ma'am. No issue. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
ICS is pleased to provide you all its research and development, integrated management system, QMS, EMS, and OHSS, excellence in education management, ISO made easy in Gujarati, ISO made easy in Marathi, Telugu, and Hindi. For reading any of the above book, please contact Ms. Sushma Tindalkar on the given contact details. Feedback form. Please register on www.sadgunsang.org and go in your login and give your valued feedback to us. So thank you, Richa ma'am. Thank you all the participants and delegates for attending the session. Now it's time to officially close the session. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.